Ever wondered how to make your games look stunning and run smoothly? You've come to the right place! From ambient occlusion to volumetric effects, whether you're a casual gamer or a hardcore enthusiast, understanding these settings will help you get the most out of your rig and take your games to the next level. These are the most important PC graphics settings for rendering quality.
And this is nerdsection.com.
Ambient occlusion is a crucial graphics setting in PC gaming that enhances the realism and depth perception of rendered scenes by simulating how ambient light interacts with objects. Essentially, it calculates areas where ambient light is blocked or occluded, creating subtle shadows and depth in corners, crevices, and intersections within the game environment. When tweaking ambient occlusion settings, you typically encounter options like off, screen space ambient occlusion, also called SSAO, horizon-based ambient occlusion, also called HBAO, and HBAO+, an improved version of HBAO. Each option varies in the complexity of its calculations and the visual fidelity it adds to the game. However, higher settings like HBAO+ generally demand more graphical processing power, impacting overall performance. For low-end PCs, where maintaining smooth gameplay is crucial, opting for a lower setting like SSAO or even turning ambient occlusion off can significantly improve frame rates without sacrificing too much visual quality. This helps in keeping the game playable while minimizing performance dips during intense scenes. On the other hand, high-end PCs can comfortably handle more demanding settings like HBAO+ or even more advanced techniques without major performance issues. These settings deliver richer, more realistic shadows and lighting effects, enhancing immersion and visual quality to its fullest potential. In summary, adjusting ambient occlusion settings allows you to balance visual fidelity with performance based on your PC's capabilities. For low-end PCs, prioritize smoother gameplay by choosing lower settings or disabling ambient occlusion altogether. For high-end rigs, maximize visual detail and immersion by opting for higher settings that showcase the game's graphical prowess without worrying about performance drops. Bloom in PC graphics settings refers to a visual effect that enhances the realism and vibrancy of light sources in a game or application. It simulates the way light interacts with the human eye, creating a soft glow or halo around bright objects or light sources. This effect can significantly impact the overall visual appeal of a scene by making it look more natural and atmospheric. In graphics settings, you typically find options like bloom or bloom intensity. Adjusting these settings controls the strength or intensity of the bloom effect. Higher settings increase the bloom effect, making bright areas appear more radiant and visually striking. However, this can also increase the demand on your PC's GPU, potentially lowering frame rates and affecting overall performance. For low-end PCs where maintaining smooth gameplay is crucial, it's advisable to reduce or even disable the bloom effect. This helps in conserving GPU resources, allowing the system to allocate more power to maintaining higher frame rates and smoother gameplay. On the other hand, high-end PCs equipped with powerful GPUs can comfortably handle higher bloom settings without sacrificing performance. In fact, higher settings can enhance visual fidelity, making scenes appear more immersive and lifelike. Finding the right balance between visual quality and performance is key. Experiment with different settings to achieve the best compromise for your specific setup, ensuring an enjoyable gaming experience tailored to your PC's capabilities. Depth of field in PC graphics settings refers to the simulation of how a camera lens focuses on objects at different distances in a scene, thereby affecting the clarity and sharpness of objects based on their proximity to the focal point. In graphics settings, you'll typically find options like off, low, medium, and high. When set to off, depth of field is disabled, resulting in a uniform sharpness across the entire scene. As you increase the setting to low, medium, or high, the effect becomes more pronounced, with objects further from the focal point becoming progressively blurred to simulate real-world camera effects. Ultimately, adjusting depth of field should be balanced with other graphical settings based on your PC's capabilities and your preference for visual fidelity versus performance. Finding the right balance ensures an optimal gaming or viewing experience tailored to your hardware's capabilities. Lighting quality in PC graphics settings refers to how detailed and realistic lighting effects appear in a game or application. It directly impacts the visual fidelity and atmosphere by determining how shadows are rendered, the accuracy of light reflections, and the overall realism of lighting sources. In summary, for those with lower-end PCs, it's advisable to prioritize smoother gameplay by opting for lower lighting quality settings. This trade-off allows you to enjoy games without the frustration of lag or stuttering. On the other hand, if you're fortunate to have a high-end PC, maximizing lighting quality settings enriches visual fidelity and enhances immersion, taking full advantage of your system's capabilities for a more breathtaking gaming experience. Particle effects in PC graphics settings refer to the visual representation of small, often dynamic elements like dust, smoke, sparks, or magical effects within a game or application. These effects enhance realism and immersion by simulating natural or fantastical phenomena. On lower-end PCs, reducing particle effects can significantly improve performance. Options typically include settings like low, medium, high, or specific sliders for particle density or quality. Lower settings decrease the number and complexity of particles rendered, easing the load on your GPU and CPU, which can lead to smoother gameplay on less powerful systems. For high-end PCs, maximizing particle effects enhances visual fidelity. Opting for higher settings increases the number, detail, and complexity of particles, enriching the game's visual experience. High-end systems can handle the computational demands of these effects without sacrificing performance, allowing for a more immersive and visually stunning gameplay experience. When configuring particle effects for a low-end PC, prioritize performance over visual fidelity. Opt for lower settings or reduce particle density to maintain smooth gameplay without compromising responsiveness. Conversely, on a high-end PC, crank up particle effects to enjoy the full visual spectacle that modern games offer, enhancing realism and immersion without concerns about performance impact. Ray tracing in PC graphics settings is a cutting-edge technology that revolutionizes how light behaves in virtual environments, aiming for unparalleled realism. It simulates the behavior of light rays as they interact with objects, creating lifelike reflections, shadows, and global illumination. This results in stunning visuals where light behaves as it would in the real world, enhancing immersion and visual fidelity. In practical terms, ray tracing options in games or applications typically include settings like ray traced reflections, ray traced shadows, and ray traced global illumination. Each option affects specific aspects of lighting and visual quality. However, enabling these settings comes at a cost. They demand significant computational power. The higher the quality of ray tracing, often adjustable through settings like low, medium, high, or ultra, the more GPU and CPU resources are required, impacting overall performance. For low-end PCs, where hardware resources are limited, it's advisable to start with conservative ray tracing settings or even consider disabling them entirely. This helps maintain playable frame rates without sacrificing too much visual quality. Opting for lower resolutions or adjusting other graphical settings can further alleviate strain on the system. Conversely, high-end PCs equipped with powerful GPUs and CPUs can fully leverage ray tracing technology. Here, maximizing ray tracing settings can unlock the full potential of the hardware, delivering breathtaking visuals with minimal compromise to performance. Higher resolutions and smoother frame rates complement these settings, enhancing the overall gaming or viewing experience. Reflection quality in PC graphics settings refers to how accurately and realistically reflective surfaces are rendered in a game or application. This setting impacts how objects and environments reflect light and other elements, enhancing visual fidelity. For lower-end PCs, setting reflection quality to a lower option reduces the detail and complexity of reflections. This helps improve performance by lightening the computational load on the GPU and CPU, crucial for maintaining smooth gameplay or application performance. On high-end PCs, setting reflection quality to higher levels increases the realism of reflections. This means more detailed and accurate reflections of objects, environments, and characters, enriching the visual experience. High-end PCs can handle the increased computational demands without significant impact on performance, delivering a more immersive graphical experience. Adjusting reflection quality is essential for balancing visual fidelity with performance on all types of PCs. For those with lower-end systems, prioritizing performance by lowering this setting can vastly improve gameplay smoothness. Conversely, owners of high-end PCs can push this setting higher to enjoy the full visual splendor and realism that modern games and applications offer. Shadow quality in PC graphics settings determines the detail and realism of shadows cast by objects and characters within a game or application. This setting directly impacts visual fidelity and can significantly affect performance depending on your PC's hardware capabilities. For lower-end PCs, reducing shadow quality is advisable to improve overall performance. Lower settings typically decrease the complexity and resolution of shadows, making them less detailed but lighter on system resources. This adjustment can result in smoother gameplay on machines with limited processing power and graphics capability. On the other hand, high-end PCs can handle higher shadow quality settings without sacrificing performance. Opting for higher settings enhances visual realism, providing sharper, more detailed shadows that contribute to a more immersive gaming experience. High-end systems can manage the additional computational load required for more intricate shadows without noticeable slowdowns. Ultimately, finding the right shadow quality setting involves balancing visual quality with performance. Adjusting this setting based on your PC's capabilities ensures a smooth and visually appealing gaming experience tailored to your hardware's strengths. Volumetric effects in PC graphics settings refers to visual enhancements that simulate the behavior of light interacting with particles or gases in the virtual environment. These effects contribute to the realism and atmosphere of the game or application by rendering things like fog, smoke, dust, or light rays that realistically interact with objects in the player's viewpoint. For low-end PCs, where performance is a concern, it's advisable to minimize or disable volumetric effects. These settings can significantly impact frame rates because they require rendering complex lighting and particle interactions. Disabling or reducing these effects can lead to smoother gameplay on less powerful hardware, albeit with a slight loss in visual fidelity. On high-end PCs, you can afford to maximize volumetric effects without worrying about performance as much. Increasing these settings enhances visual immersion, making scenes appear more lifelike and atmospheric. High-end systems can handle the additional computational load required for realistic lighting and particle simulations, ensuring a richer gaming or viewing experience. In summary, adjust volumetric effects based on your PC's capabilities. For low-end systems, prioritize performance by lowering these settings. For high-end setups, feel free to maximize them to enjoy enhanced visuals without compromising performance. Adjusting these settings allows you to strike a balance between visual quality and smooth gameplay, tailored to your PC's hardware capabilities. Increasing graphic settings can significantly impact PC performance, especially on a low-end PC. Ray tracing, being highly demanding due to its real-time simulation of light behavior, places the most strain on performance. Volumetric effects also require substantial resources as they simulate complex phenomena like fog, smoke, and light scattering. Ambient occlusion and reflection quality are next in line. Both add realistic shading and reflections, which are computationally intensive, and lighting quality, affecting the complexity of light sources and shadows, are also demanding but slightly less so. Particle effects and shadow quality constrain performance as they increase the complexity and number of particles or the detail of shadows. Depth of field and bloom are less demanding but still affect performance by adding visual effects like background blurring and light halos. For a low-end PC, it's advisable to increase settings that add visual quality without heavily impacting performance. Bloom and depth of field are relatively low-impact options that enhance visual appeal. Lowering or turning off ray tracing, volumetric effects, ambient occlusion, and reflection quality can help maintain smoother performance while adjusting other settings to find a good balance between visual quality and playability. In this video, you've learned about the most crucial settings that can make or break your gaming and viewing experience, from ambient occlusion to volumetric effects. But wait, there's more to explore. Check out our video about texture and filtering graphic settings. Trust us, you won't want to miss out on leveling up your visual fidelity game.